Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
It's time for Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Now let's have some fun. Here is your host, Johnny Radio.
Yo. Welcome into a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. I got Jay Morgan Harder hanging out with me all day. And you know what else we got? We're going to talk a lot of college football because we have David Cobb from CBSSports.com at 11:30. I've already got some games circled. I've seen some crazy stuff out there that I already am in love with. I'm looking at Colorado State, man. They're terrible. They lost to Washington State by 26. I'm drinking the Dion Kool-Aid. Colorado's only a 23-point favorite. You know how people love the Buffaloes now. You better bet it now if you want it before he gets to 24 at least. Plus, Ole Miss, 17-point favorite over Georgia Tech. Got to ask Cobb what he thinks about it because they beat them 42-0 last year in Atlanta. And then the Tennessee-Florida game. The biggest discrepancy, the craziest thing I've seen while looking at the early lines early in the week. Again, these are not games that I 100% am saying to bet, but I'm looking at pulling the trigger on this one here maybe in just a minute. And it's Tennessee-Florida. The total is 59 points. 59. Now, Tennessee's a 6.5-point favorite. I don't like it either way because I don't know what I'm going to get. The one thing I know I'm going to get is poor quarterback play because Graham Mertz cannot run Billy Napier's system. He likes to run the pistol, use the quarterback to use his feet. We saw it against Utah. It does not work. He is not a quarterback for his system. This is not a great Florida team, but let's also be real. Tennessee was down in the second quarter to Austin Peay. Joe Milton is what we are who we thought he was, or whatever I'm trying to say from Dennis Green back in the day. Joe Milton, we saw it in Michigan. We saw it early when he came to Tennessee. He's been given the opportunity to do it. He can't throw it over the middle. He always throw it high. It turns into picks. He doesn't make the simple throws. He doesn't make the simple reads. And Tennessee, I think, has to adjust. They can run the hell out of the football. That Jalen Wright kid can run.
Squirrel.
Joe Milton can also run. Use that huge frame of yours, and y'all need to start running the ball. And what's Florida going to do? If they're going to play Tennessee, they don't want to shoot out. They want to muck it up, keep it dirty, keep it close, and try to steal one. So under 59 is what I'm saying feels like one of the easiest plays of the week.
That sounds like you take the points then, right?
Oh, I'm not touching the Tennessee.
Well, but like if you like the under, that sounds like it.
Oh yes,
taking
okay.
the points would be like
the one thing is I'm
leaning towards that play.
The fear I have is I saw how bad Florida's offense can look, and I'm not saying Tennessee's defense is Utah yet,
right,
but they're pretty damn close.
Yeah, they're good. They're playing a lot better than they did last year. That's for sure.
And let me tell you something. This, I think, is going to be a defensive football game. So yes, I would. If I had to take the right aside right now, it would be the points.
But you don't really not interested in it.
I'm just not interested because you know what's screaming at me? There's no way this thing goes over 59 points. Plus the way the running clock is now until the final 2 minutes of each half. Like Josh Heupel, did you see how many times they ran the ball with Jalen Wright? And it's effective. And Joe Milton, again, cannot throw the football very well. He can throw it far, but he's not accurate. Under 59, I feel like dancing and screaming and going crazy. But we're going to talk college football with David Cobb at 11:30. We got Hardwood because it feels so good. And also, we're going to do a little something at 12:30. We haven't done this. We do it like once a year about this time. We're having a man who's going to come on. It's Daley Thompson. And he's going to basically, like, because, you know, this is the time of year you tailgate. You like to eat food. I like my meats. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to come on and give us some recipes. So if you're tailgating or you're cooking at home watching the games, 12:30 he's going to jump on and do a little bit of that. But everything we got to talk about is right now, in the beginning of the show, it's all about the NFL. Week 1 has come. It has passed. And Aaron is going to be out for the season. He has a torn Achilles. You pretty much knew that last night. It has been confirmed. He was carted off in, it was the third or fourth play of the game. But after the way that game started, him come running out of the tunnel with the American flag, Aaron Rodgers to the Jets was one of the biggest moves in the last 10 years in football. All the Jets were like, oh my gosh, the Messiah is here. Aaron. And Mike Greenberg, the dude on ESPN who loves them Jets. Greeny's I'm sure last night, I don't know how many shots that dude had to put down just to get his mind off that game. But he goes out there and he gets injured. And it's just, it's so sad. And we're going to talk about this for a lot here in the beginning. If you have an opinion on it, 901-360-8255. There's so many things to look at. But before we get into the Aaron Rodgers situation, we got to talk about Josh Allen. We got to talk about the Buffalo Bills and how their window is closing. Because the biggest offseason move, period, this season, for a fact this season, was Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. That Jets defense is bad to the bone. Garrett Wilson is a bad mamma jamma. They got some weapons. Their offensive line is not very good. Not very good at all. But this is a team that, a lot of people, Aaron Rodgers was minus 1,400 to be the MVP. The team was minus 1,000 to win the Super Bowl. I mean, there's a lot of people who took these odds and bet on this team, and now they don't believe. Well, on the other side, the Bills are about the same, and so was Josh Allen. And let me just tell you a little something. Josh Allen has turned into a dead-gum turnover machine, and it has to be addressed. It has gotten to be ridiculous. I don't even know what to think about how bad he's been doing. And let me just give you a little bit of numbers. Do you know who's, by the way, this kind of blew my mind. I was looking up this morning. Do you know who has the fewest turnovers since the 2001 season?
I'm going to say...
And I'm talking about interceptions and fumbles, all by quarterbacks we're talking about.
Since 2001, you said?
Since 2001.
I can't tell you, John.
That would be Mr. Jared Goff. Jared Goff has only, in the last 24 games, he only has 15 turnovers. Josh Allen, who is so much more talented than Jared Goff, who is, if you look at him physically, he can run. He's got a rifle as an arm. He doesn't have a crazy hitch.
A 23-year period, though.
I said 2021.
Oh, no. Oh, okay. 2021.
Since 2021. Did I not say that?
You did not.
What did I say?
2001.
Oh, damn, dude. Okay, listen.
That's why I was a little bit confused.
So sorry. 2021. Since 2021, Josh Allen, Jared Goff's played 24 games. He's got 15 turnovers. Josh Allen's played in 24 games. How many turnovers do you think he's had?
21.
33.
Wow.
18 more than Jared Goff. Tell me that's not nuts. Now, do you want to also hear something that correlates with Jared Goff? Remember, Jared Goff's first 8 games, he had 10 turnovers with the Lions. Anthony Lynn and him did not mix. They got rid of him. Do you know who took over the play calling and has had the play calling ever since?
I don't.
Their head coach, Dan Campbell.
Oh, wow.
Did you? That's crazy. A lot of people are freaking about Mike McCarthy calling plays. Dan Campbell does it, and he also bites off kneecaps. Doesn't get the credit that Dan Campbell is one of those coaches that people just look at him as kind of like a sideshow, but he can coach his ass off. And look what he's done with Jared Goff. Jared Goff was a turnover machine with Sean McVay. He was a turnover machine with Anthony Lynn as the offensive coordinator. And Dan Campbell took it over, and he's leading the NFL with the fewest turnovers in the last 24 football games. Josh Allen has 33. That's 18 more than him. He had 3 interceptions last night. He lost a fumble. He could have lost 2 of them because he fumbled twice. The Bills had no business losing that game when Zach Wilson came in. The Jets defense, I'm going to give the Jets defense and say, hey, they are top 3, period.
Yeah, they're loaded.
Now, did Kenny Pickett look bad against the San Francisco 49ers? Yeah, a lot of the reason is 49ers defense. Did Daniel Jones look terrible? He actually made Ryan Tannehill not the worst quarterback of the week. And then Josh Allen came in there and made him not the worst quarterback of the week last night. Because they've been just terrible. And again, Daniel Jones, Dallas defense, top 3. 49ers defense, top 3. We saw last night, Bills, yes. Jets defense, probably a top 3 team in the league. But again, Josh Allen is not Kenny Pickett. This is a guy that we call top 3 quarterback in the NFL. Josh Allen is sure as hell ain't Daniel Jones. But yet, you expect the Bills to win the game. And the only reason the Jets won that game, not the only reason, but the biggest deadgum reason for sure, is the stupid decisions from Josh Allen. Does he miss Brian Daboll? Maybe. It says a lot about Ken Dorsey. Ken Dorsey's been with him since his entire time in Buffalo. He's still with him. Now he's the OC when Daboll left. But, man, Dorsey, was it Daboll? What's going on?
Daboll's certainly a great coach, too. But
look, Daniel Jones looked like trash.
Yeah. If to defend him, really, I want to defend the Jets, I would say, is I think that solidifies this team is literally a competent quarterback away. They are one of the most loaded teams on both sides of the ball.
They need an offense. Yeah, not just a quarterback, but a quarterback that can stay healthy, who's not 39 years old.
Aaron Rodgers could do it, though, right? If he was healthy. He got hurt.
Again, what I'm saying is they have the team, but they went all in on a 39-year-old quarterback.
Well, you get some options,
everybody.
though.
Let me just tell you something.
Like
again,
Jacoby Brissett.
Everybody ain't Tom Brady.
It's an option too, though. I think Jacoby Brissett's probably
Tom
the
Brady
most
ain't
viable
coming
option. Jacoby Brissett's probably the most viable option to sign.
Do you think Washington gives them up?
That's a good question. Why would they? There's no reason for him to.
Because Sam Howell right now,
it's a different conference.
Sam Howell is the guy.
Yeah, you're not. It's a different conference.
Some people keep
though.
saying Jameis Winston. No, dude. If Derek Carr gets in it, the Saints. It's early in the season.
Yeah,
they got only a 1-point win on the Tennessee team where Tannehill threw 3 interceptions. But hey, they're in a terrible division. It's terrible.
Tell you what, and this doesn't hurt you going into next season either. Davis Mills, seriously, because it's end of a contract.
Listen, that is a good idea.
Because it's an expiring contract.
He's not old.
Exactly.
And he does get rid of the football. Now, is he Aaron Rodgers? Hell no, but he's better than Zach Wilson.
Certainly. He's shown that he has propensity to throw good balls, especially how much he got beat up in Houston. That would be a guy I would definitely look at.
Yeah, well, he'll still get beat up, so he's used to getting beat up. Because the Jets' offensive line is still terrible. But no, the Buffalo Bills, I just had to mention that there is no way they didn't have any business losing that game. But can I tell you something? You know what that makes me in the NFL this year?
Undefeated, John.
9-0. Told you I bought tickets to Colorado and some concert tickets, and me and 5 buddies are now going to Colorado on a little impromptu Sunday. We just got a little money in our pocket. Got to spend it before the wives do. You know what I'm saying?
Little PJ, taking a little PJ out there.
What's a PJ?
A private jet.
Oh, no, we ain't taking no private jet.
You don't want that much money. No.
But we going to go have some fun. But I don't know. I felt I had to bring up Josh Allen because it feels like that Bills window is just closing.
What do you think about
it's game 1.
Yeah.
And I know people think I overreact, which I know I do.
No, but you're going back to last season to
but
find
that's what I was trying to
those
say.
Interceptions.
33 turnovers in the last 24 games.
Yeah. That's tough. Some of those, though.
And remember, last year, a lot of those were in the red zone. Now, somebody can come back and say to me, well, Johnny did complete 69% of his passes and threw 39 touchdowns last year.
And some of those.
Yes, he did.
And some of those passes are that they give him the leeway to punt on third down. You know what I mean? He had one interception that was a punt on third down. And so that's not all of them because there's some really bad ones too. So it doesn't excuse all of them
last year,
away.
The problem he had was turning the ball over in the red zone. That's what's driving people nuts.
Big problem last year.
That was huge. Now, also, it did have it didn't hurt that, it didn't help him that they have no damn running game other than him. And that is still a problem with this Buffalo Bills team.
Very much so.
Now, the other thing that's a problem with Josh Allen, and damn, I'm trying to get over to Aaron Rodgers.
I think this is an important topic today, John, because
because everybody is talking Aaron Rodgers.
And what's back in play also, Josh Allen has almost been immune to criticism for the last, what do you think, year and a half, 2 years?
Well, because he's a physical freak.
He's
and also,
unbelievable.
the one thing is that also I still think he gets so much credit and love for is the Kansas City Buffalo Bills game that they lost. They lost the game because Pat Mahomes pulled a rabbit out of his hat, Tyreek Hill. You know which game I'm talking about, to go to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Bills, Chiefs, one of the best games I've ever seen. Josh Allen played out of his mind. But, man, you got to, since then, it hadn't been the same Josh Allen. We're not seeing that guy. And the other thing that concerns me is, in game number 1, how many, dude, why does he keep jumping in the air? This is the first game against the Jets, who have some bad dudes on that defense with bad intentions. Can you slide in week 1? You know there's 17 regular season games plus the playoffs. I know you're a big dude. I know you're a competitor. But, bro, you're taking some serious unnecessary hits.
That red zone touchdown where he's scrambling to the right, that was nasty, though, where he's almost past the line of scrimmage. That was a nasty play. I got to give dude credit for that. That was nasty.
Again, we say it. He's got every tool there is. He is a physical freak. He has a bazooka for an arm. He's just making bad decisions. Like when he was rolling out to the left and he throws into double coverage deep. It was like one of the was like.
But that was a punt.
It looked
too,
like
though,
a
right?
it was still. I mean, it's third down.
It is third down.
And again, I feel what you're saying, but the underneath drag route was open for wide open.
That's what Peyton
for
said.
a first down that keeps the drive alive.
That's what Peyton. That's exactly what
And
Peyton
he throws into
said.
double coverage.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what Peyton said. Is that
I just didn't understand that.
He said I understand where his head's at, but then he got hyper focused on trying to punt the ball away like that and missed open receivers. Exactly right. Yeah.
On the drag route, 15 yards down the field.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about wide open.
Mm-hmm. It's an extremely fair point, and I think this is the first day, like I just said, in like a year and a half, 2 years, John, that criticism of Josh Allen has been open for business, and we're free to do that today. Who do you think made
right now, like look at this. The Buffalo Bills, everybody would say that it was Josh Allen and A.A. Ron, best quarterbacks in this division. Right now, Josh looks bad, but it's Tua with Miami. The only problem with Tua is, remember in this world, availability is just as important as talent.
Well, John, he's been available for 1 week, and that's all you can do is take it 1 week at a time. He's been available. He's been available for 1 week, no injuries. So we're going to call that a victory and move on from there.
I love it, man.
No, he was the most impressive quarterback in the division in week 1. I mean, that's not even an argument.
To go out there and outduel Justin Herbert. First game of the year.
Another guy that criticism is back open for
bad
business. You know what I mean? Justin Herbert and Josh Allen are both guys that the jury was kind of out after a year.
Both of them are physical freaks.
Right.
Both of them have bazookas as are. Both of them can run. Both of them are good-looking dudes. I mean, check out their wags, brother. They're on point. So everybody just loves them. Tua's a little bitty guy. He's left-handed. He looks funny. He gets knocked out. Fumbles some snaps here and there. But man, when you talk about processing of information, that's the thing. I mean, he has also a noodle arm compared to these guys. Tua does.
That deep throw was nasty, though.
Dude, that was stepping up in the pocket, and again, it was 39 yards down the field. So it's not like he just, threw 55 yards. I mean, it was beautiful. He dropped it in perfect. It was exactly what they needed. Tua processes information. And also, have you ever looked at his completion percentage, left, middle, and right?
It's ridiculous to go. He's good. He's great. Which direction is he bad at?
To the right. He can't even throw the ball to the right. He shouldn't do it.
You know who else was? Marcus Mariota, same exact way.
But, man, did you know he's completing something like 85% of his passes over the middle? That's wild. And to
especially
the left,
over the middle.
Over the middle. And then to the left, he's extremely good too. But my man, he's a left-handed quarterback. He can't throw the ball to the right, bro.
That's crazy because Mariota is not a southpaw, but he couldn't throw the ball. He couldn't open up and throw it right. So that's weird throwing across your body. I guess it's not weird.
Different throwing styles, man. But, man, it just and how did I get off on that? Oh, yeah, because we're talking about last night's football.
I like that.
And now we got to also talk about Aaron Rodgers again. His Achilles done. I have to say, ruptured Achilles. Aaron Rodgers loves mushrooms and ayahuasca. He's rich beyond belief. Now, he did take a pay cut, by the way, to come to the Jets, voluntarily. They didn't. He's like, hey, I want to sign some more players. Aaron Rodgers was all in this year. It is very sad that this is how I feel it's going to end. Because this is like a 8 months to like a year to literally rehab from an Achilles. After you rehab, you still then have to like get into physical shape and work out and get back to, the timing of everything. I mean, this is going to be difficult. You think at 41 years old, Aaron Rodgers is going to come back? Or do you think that was the last?
For some reason, I do, John.
You think that's the end of it?
I just think he's too great. Like, not everybody gets to end their career in a certain way, but
Tom Brady didn't rupture no Achilles,
right? But I just feel like his level of greatness is such that he's like. To make a tennis analogy,
out like that.
Yeah, we're like he's like one of the tennis players that plays until they're 40s.
This guy
like
goes,
Federer.
sits in dark rooms, likes Broadway plays, loves tripping on mushrooms. Likes dating complete C's for some reason. I mean, he's just a different character. I don't know. Like, I can see him with all of his money saying, do I really – I mean, because, by the way, you know this. Rehab sucks. Like, it's painful. There's some days where you don't ever feel like – I mean, you just like, I'm never going to be that person again, you know. It is hard work. It's hard mentally on you, the things that you could do, and you're trying to work to get back. I mean, he's going to have to be, like, realistically almost learn how to, walk again. That's not, that ain't, I mean, this is Aaron Rodgers who's, like, light on his feet, can throw a perfect spiral 40 yards with a flick of a wrist like it's nothing. It's going to be hard for him to come back with this one. Sad situation for Aaron Rodgers. I really feel for him. I thought Robert Saleh had handled the game at the end of it very, very well. But, dude, how about that win? Was that not, like, were you going crazy when you watched that game? I thought that was, like, for a game that was low-scoring mud fight, rock fight, 22-16, I thought it was just an amazing football game. Like, it was just like every time I saw Josh Allen shoot himself, I'm like, what am I seeing?
I was going crazy at the catch from Garrett Wilson. That was one of the most incredible things.
Dude, one-handed, he stops it and knocks it back. Then he, with the same hand, pulls his hand back up to tip it up. And then when he falls on his keister, he just grabs it with both hands and is like, what's up, yo? Did you see me? Garrett Wilson's a freak.
I've never seen anything like that in my life.
I have to admit. So at one point they were like, go watch Garrett Wilson get off the line. Like it's like watching Jerry Rice back in the day. I love that YouTube thing. I went up there and started pulling up Jerry Rice clips. Man, you got to be right. My man gets off the line like nobody's business. And I'm not talking about speed. His moves, the precision with his routes that he runs, the way he changes up, man, he's nasty.
He's unbelievable.
He is unbelievable. Well, we got to take a very quick timeout. You know this hour is brought to you by Scooters Plus, parts, repairs, sales, and service, 3425 Summer Avenue. Go to their website, scootersplus.us. They're open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. They have the largest showroom in the Mid-South, period. They got dirt bikes, ATVs, UTVs, golf carts, you name it. If it's an outdoor vehicle, if it's a motorcycle, whatever you're looking for, scooters, they got you. Again, but don't forget parts, repairs, sales, and service, plus financing is available. Back in two shapes with David Cobb. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11, here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Everyone needs protection, whether you're on the field or on the road, so make sure you have the best. Bob Simpson State Farm Insurance can buckle you up with auto insurance, can back you up with life and health insurance, cover your business whether it's starting, growing, or maturing, and don't forget to insure your home, no matter if you're an owner or a renter. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call Bob Simpson today at 901-381-1233 or go online and get a free quote at bobsimpson.org. Stay protected with your good neighbor, Bob Simpson.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Howdy, partner. Grab the family, hop in the old wagon, and get on up here to Sunrise at Wolf Chase for this Western Trading Day sale. Biggest sale of the year. Got a hankering for a new buggy? Well, hold your horses and listen up. Interest rates as low as 0.9%. Discounts up to $8,000. Bankruptcy, slow pay, repo. It's okay at Sunrise. $12 million used car inventory and new Buicks and GMCs arriving daily. Goodness gracious, now is the time to treat yourself. And check out the Sunrise Truck Corral. All trucks, all sizes. Call, click, or come on down to Sunrise Wolf Chase and Bartlett. Ask for Woody. SunriseMemphis.com. Y'all, we make it fun to buy a car.
There's only one place for great steaks, real Italian cuisine, Southern-style meats, and fresh vegetables. It's Fratello's. Fratello's Italian Steakhouse in Hernando has a family feel and a fantastic menu. Voted DeSoto's best new restaurant in 2022, Fratello's has your favorite cuts of prime steak, lamb, and pork, along with delicious Italian dishes. And nothing is better for lunch than Southern-style meats and veggies. All your favorites and more are waiting for you at Fratello's Italian Steakhouse, Highway 51 in Hernando.
So you need to sell your house? I have the solution. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Any house, any area, as is. It's literally as simple as that. Just pick up your phone. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your house fast, call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses.
The only power source capable of generating 1.21 gigawatts of electricity is a bolt of lightning.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. Jay Morgan Harder is always hanging out with me, but it's a Tuesday, man. It's 11:30. We're going to talk with the best, David Cobb at CBSSports.com. Check out his work at CBSSports.com. And also follow him on Twitter at David W. Cobb. Tune in every Tuesday right here. DC, what is up, my brother?
Not much, man. What are you up to?
Man, just chilling like a villain, man. Life, living large as I can, having a lot of fun. Have you ever played kickball before?
Yeah, I love kickball. Hey, the last time I played it, I pulled a hamstring, but I do. It is fun. I do like it.
Man, I had like 11 doubles and like 3 triples yesterday. First time ever playing kickball. I don't know, man. I should have played some soccer or something. I'm like the Messi of kickball.
Hold on a second now. What was the average age of the competitors?
Most of them are younger than me. Remember, I'm old, David. But I was by far the best.
No, I mean, by younger than you, though, do you mean they were like 9 years old? That's kind of what I'm getting at.
No. It's like a kickball league. I've never been in one. It's great. They're like 30-year-old dudes. And it's also co-ed. And there was only, like, the reason we are good is because we only had 3 guys yesterday and like 5 women. And they have to go man, woman. So I got tons of kicks, bruh.
Well, okay. That makes me feel better because in my mind, I'm envisioning you, like, at your granddaughter's, like, recess.
That would be so much fun. Like, I would tear them up.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, I would dominate those kids.
I know. I'm just glad that you chose adults as your competitive outlet.
Well, speaking of domination, man, holy cow. Texas went in there, and I felt dominated Alabama all over the place. It makes me kind of go back to MTSU and think about how they gave up 211 yards to that team, that Alabama defense. I thought it was going to be a little bit better. Actually, I didn't because I took Texas on the money line. But let me tell you something. I got to give Quinn Ewers tons of credit, and I also got to give some criticism, and I want you to listen to me and kind of feel me for a minute. I feel like this year, Alabama did not go out and find that quarterback in the transfer portal to run Tommy Rees's pro system. And right now with Jalen Milroe, while he is a specimen and he is a freak running the football, he has a bazooka with his arm. He throws a beautiful deep ball. He's not reading defenses like a pro system quarterback would. And I feel like they're trying to put that old square peg into a round hole with Jalen Milroe. Ty Simpson wasn't the kid from Notre Dame wasn't the guy to run their pro system. But they need to change that offensive up. Like, I feel like to go to Jalen Milroe's strength. If you want to look into next year running a pro-style system, go right ahead. But as long as he's your quarterback, is this just a recipe for disaster because it just doesn't mix?
You're spot on. Just look at the change in the quarterbacks for both teams, and that's all you need to explain the outcome that we saw Saturday night in Tuscaloosa. Because if you flash back a year ago, when Alabama won at Texas 20-19, Quinn Ewers for Texas got hurt and left the game for good in the first quarter. They had to go to their backup, Hudson Card, who's fine but not great. And Alabama had the reigning Heisman Trophy winner, Bryce Young, at quarterback. That's why Alabama won that game. They had a huge edge in the quarterback battle. Flash forward a year to Saturday night, and Quinn Ewers is fully healthy for the entire game. Bryce Young is no longer the quarterback at Alabama, and it's no surprise that Texas won the game. In fact, you can literally trace the difference in outcome of 10 points to the 10 points that Texas scored off of Jalen Milroe interception. Exactly. So it's pretty simple. I mean, of course, there were other factors involved there, new coordinators on both sides of the ball at Alabama, but the quarterback play, I think, was clearly the biggest deciding factor in the outcome of that game. And I like where you're going with the scheme at Alabama. Because
Jalen Milroe is not a 3 to 5 step drop quarterback. He's going to read. I feel like he's already making the decision to where he's going to throw the football in his pre-snap read. And by the way, you can't play quarterback. You can have an idea, but you have to read your cues. And I feel like he's just not there to run Tommy Rees's system. And, the 3 to 5 step drop, and let's read now, him taking off and his running, ability helps a lot. You need to do more design run. You need to put him in the pistol. You need to do something different than have him out there reading linebacker safety and picking up cues.
Agreed. He's really uncomfortable in the pocket. That was demonstrated time and time again. He was sacked 5 times. That's partially an issue with the offensive line. So let's not blame it all on Milroe because the offensive line has to get better at Alabama. This was supposed to be a great offensive line. They also need to
biggest
rely more
offensive
heavily.
line in the whole world, bigger than the NFL, right. Bigger than the college.
But at the end of the day, you got a true freshman starting at left tackle.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I don't care who it is. If you got a true freshman starting at left tackle and a quarterback who's uncomfortable in a system, right, there's going to be some issues there. And we're talking about an Alabama team now that has a long, long road ahead if they want to have any shot at making the college football playoff. I will say this, though. After what we've seen from LSU and from Texas A&M, I mean, Alabama still has a really good chance to win the SEC West.
I'm not saying it's over by any means. I'm just saying if they want to find their strengths, one, you're going to have to get that 18-year-old caught up. He got worked. He got. I felt like it again. MTSU. There's a few times you saw him fall on his keister because of his bad footwork, and then you saw the big boys from Texas. They went at him, and he did. I mean, he held his own, but he didn't look like a starting left tackle for Alabama.
Yeah. Now, how different would that game have been? Just humor me here, hypothetically, if Alabama had succeeded, as it is rumored to have attempted, in throwing the bag at Drake May. From North Carolina. What if they had gotten Drake May as a transfer?
Well, right now that would be perfect to run Tommy Rees's pro system, and you look at Alabama, and I think they'd be like title favorites with him.
Yeah. So how does Alabama in the transfer portal era end up in this position with quarterback play? I mean, it's baffling because it's easier now than ever before to address specific positional needs during the offseason because of the transfer portal, and a school like Alabama with all those NIL resources and booster support should have no problem going out and getting a quarterback. And you want to look around the SEC and identify some of the cause for the struggles right now that we're seeing. Lackluster quarterback play is pretty high up the list, because I flash over to Florida as well, and you look at the fact that Graham Mertz, he was the best they could do, right? Like, I mean, that's concerning. And so with those two schools in particular, it really is showing up on the field early in this season. The fact that they were not able to get the quarterbacks that they needed to run their systems and have them meet the standards that we're accustomed to for those teams.
Yeah, it's everything right now. Like the fact that like you said, I mean, if they got Drake May, and again, a big bag of money would have done it. I can't believe Alabama wasn't able to close the deal if they had. Now, I do know Drake May's dad played quarterback at North Carolina. Drake May went to North Carolina. His brother was Luke May, who played basketball at North Carolina. But his brother, the pitcher, he went to the University of Florida. So, you know, he maybe you could have broken off if you gave him a big enough bag. And again, Alabama would be totally different. But right now, the SEC is in trouble. We talked about Florida. They got killed by Utah. We mentioned LSU got smoked by FSU. North Carolina and Drake May, who barely won against App State again this year in overtime, smoked USC. Bama got beat by Texas. Tennessee struggled last week against Austin Peay. Mississippi State only threw 17 passes last week and had to go in an overtime game against Arizona and barely held on. Ole Miss, that score was so deceptive. Tulane was right there. Thank you, Willie Fritz, for giving me the cover. And then Auburn had no business beating Cal. Is the SEC down this year?
100%. It absolutely is down. And you're looking already, going into week 3, at a maximum of one team reaching the college football playoff from the SEC. And I think Georgia's almost a lock at this point because of how easy their schedule is. They would have to be upset twice. I just don't see that. Once in the regular season, and then they would have to lose to the SEC West champion. And I think there's a pretty good chance that we get to the SEC championship game, and the team from the SEC West has 2 losses. And, you know, we've never seen a 2-loss team make the college football playoff. This is the last season of the 4-team playoff. So it would have to be the first time ever if the SEC West is going to produce a college football playoff team this year. So it's bleak. And, you know, it's kind of a shame that Georgia is as dominant as they are. Otherwise, it could be fun, right? Like, the SEC is messy. It's not great this year. Maybe it gets kind of wild and has a Big 12 feel to it, but I just don't think that's going to happen, because Georgia, as underwhelming as they have been through 2 weeks in this season, and they've not looked great, especially on offense against some pretty bad teams, they're not going to have any trouble going forward. I mean, they're going to have their way with South Carolina at home this week, and you know, maybe things get weird at Auburn, or maybe Tennessee.
I don't think South Carolina is going to be able to score on Georgia this week, bro.
They won't, and so it's kind of a dud, right? It's kind of unfortunate. The SEC West is going to be fun, but not in a nationally relevant type of way, because the top 3 teams have already taken L's. So it's weird. It's a weird year for the SEC, and I feel like other fans of other leagues and other teams around the country are very much enjoying the fact that the league is counted.
You ain't lying, man. People are out there crowing, but I'm going to stick in the SEC, and I got to just ask you this, because I look at that Tennessee-Florida game and all the lines, the totals, the sides. The one thing that stuck out me more and screamed, let me, fatten my bank account, was Florida and Tennessee. The total was 59 points. Joe Milton is who he is. We have seen Joe Milton. He has not changed. It is Joe Milton from Michigan. It is Joe Milton early from Tennessee. It is Joe Milton. He throws the ball over the middle high. That's dangerous for interceptions. He's got a bazooka, but he overthrows deep balls. He can't make the easy plays. But one thing he can do is run the football. They got to change it up a little bit. And also, Jalen Wright is a dude at running back. I feel like Tennessee's going to not be going 90 miles an hour through the air, but they're going to, they're going to keep the ball on the ground. Florida wants to muck this up because Graham Mertz is their quarterback. He can't run Billy Napier's system. He's a guy they tried to put in the pistol against Utah, and it looked terrible. I feel like this game is screaming under 59 points. What do you say?
I agree. Florida has struggled to run the football, especially against Utah. Tennessee's been pretty good against the run. Tennessee's best offensive attribute to this point is its running game. So you're talking about a Florida team that's going to struggle to score. You're talking about a Tennessee team that is not even close to hitting the full gear that it often had last year with Hendon Hooker at quarterback. So, yeah, you're spot on. You also have seen Josh Heupel in Tennessee slow it down a little bit more than they have in his first 2 years, especially when they get into plus territory in or near the red zone. A lot of bleeding the play clock more than you expect maybe with that system. And that's something that stuck out to me as well. So I think that's their way of trying to give the defense a little bit more time to catch its breath. And Tennessee's defense has been okay so far. And I'm with you. Graham Mertz versus Joe Milton does not scream
light it up.
Yeah, I'm not seeing 60 plus in a game with those two at quarterback. That to me is just not in the cards right now.
Man, I got to bring up that Mississippi State, team. They're playing. They're at home this week. Davis Wade. It's 11 a.m. kick. It's going to ESPN. Of course, LSU is coming to town. We don't know right now exactly what LSU is after the first 2 weeks, but this is a different Mississippi State team. Will Rogers threw the ball 17 times last week. Zach Arnett is different. He's changed his team completely. I don't know if it's for the good because we're watching it play out. But, man, they struggled mightily against Arizona.
They did. They forced 5 turnovers, and they still only won by a touchdown in overtime. When you have a +4 turnover differential.
and have to win in overtime, that's not good.
That's not good. It's not. LSU remains a mystery. I'm a big believer, though, in the fact that Brian Kelly's going to get LSU playing really good football sooner rather than later. He's proven it year after year after year at school after school after school that as the season progresses, his teams improve. That's what good football coaches do. And I think Brian Kelly is a good football coach. I know he is. And all you have to do is look at last season to see how much LSU improved as the season progressed. So, yeah, they were disappointing in their opener, no doubt about that. But, LSU straight up. I don't know how I feel about a 10-point spread, which is what you're seeing some places right now favoring LSU. We're still talking about a road game in the SEC West against a Mississippi State team that is they're no worse than decent, right? They're at least decent. The jury is still out on Zach Arnett. The jury is still out on Kevin Barbay, and if Will Rogers is going to run the system to perfection and whatnot. But 10 points still feels like a lot to me in terms of LSU being favored in that matchup. So. It's probably one of the best games nationally, honestly, of the week because it's kind of a light slate this week in college football. And Mississippi State LSU in Starkville, it's going to be one of the better games that we have on Saturday.
It's definitely going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it, but I got to jump out of the SEC for a minute. I got to ask you right now, is the Pac-12 right now, is it the best in the last year of their existence? Is it the best of it? Is it the best conference in football?
I think it is, John, which is incredible. We've covered the SEC. Yeah, we've covered the SEC's problems. Now you look at the Big Ten, which would be naturally the other choice in this conversation, and you've got Michigan that has been underwhelming in the run game. You've got Ohio
State is just.
Yeah, they've been way underwhelming, especially
that offense
on offense.
Don't even look normal. They don't look like a Buckeyes offense.
It does not. And then out of the West, you have Wisconsin, who was everybody's dark horse, everybody's pick to have a big year under a first-year coach, kind of like TCU did last year. And then they just went and got walloped by Washington State. So are we looking at a situation where Iowa's now, again, the best team in the Big Ten West? So the Big Ten's not having a banner year either through 2 weeks. So the Pac-12 has 8 ranked teams. The reigning Heisman
Colorado's one of them, man. Golly.
Amazing. Great coaches, great quarterbacks. And just think, man, if Cal had finished the deal against Auburn like it should have.
Field goal
that
kicker,
overtime game.
Man, is that field goal kicker, you think he's okay?
The thing about it, if you're going to be a bad kicker, Cal is a great place to do it because if there's any school where they're not going to abuse you on social media and on the message boards, it's Cal, because I don't think they care enough.
Man, that poor kid couldn't make a kick to save his life that night.
Yeah, sad. Auburn deserved to lose that game.
And heck, Arizona almost took out Mississippi State, as we were talking about.
Absolutely could have. So, really, I mean, there's a long way to go, but sure, through 2 weeks, absolutely, I'll go Pac-12 as best league in college football.
Man, I got to stick in the pack and ask who's the best team. I mean, for me, you got Michael Penix Jr., who's got the two best wide receivers and a quarterback all on one team. Like, Washington is nasty. Oregon State may be the best defense I've seen early in the season, and DJU is completing 74% of his passes, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. Clemson's like, what? Our coaches and our offense really must be archaic. And USC, Caleb Williams. I mean, you look out at the pack and Utah, Cam Rising's coming back. Utah still survives against Baylor last week. I mean, the pack is deep. And like you mentioned, it's got quarterbacks everywhere. Bo Nix pulling it. I mean, that Texas Tech game was amazing last week. I mean, and we haven't even talked about Shedeur Sanders with Colorado, who's nuts. I mean, the pack is fun.
No, it is. Utah is still my pick.
Number one?
Yeah, and they're the
two-time champs. Yeah,
they've got 2 victories over Power 5 teams, which nobody else can claim, I don't think, in the country at this point. And they did it without their starting quarterback. So, hello. I mean, if Cam Rising comes back even close to 100%, then they get even better, right? Their defense is clearly elite. Their running game is really good. They've struggled in the throw game, but they've been playing without their quarterback. So it's they're one piece away from being the 3-time champions to close out the Pac-12. So, I mean, USC, I saw them in person week 0. There's still issues on that defense. Colorado is obviously way better than myself or many others expected them to be.
But bad defense and offensive line still. I mean, can they continue once it gets the big boys? I mean, they took care of Nebraska. They beat up on a TCU team. They're going to smoke Colorado State. Shedeur Sanders is bad. Travis Hill's a freak. But I'm still worried how long is – I mean, if they have an injury to that offensive or defensive line, they're in trouble.
Absolutely. So they're a bowl team, I think almost for sure
absolutely.
At Colorado. But they're probably not quite there yet with the depth on the line of scrimmage to be able to withstand the rigors of a full Pac-12 season. And, oh, by the way, 11 out of Colorado's 12 games this year are against power conference opponents. That's either the most or tied for the most in the nation. So it's a brutal schedule, and they've got to withstand the rigors of it. Guys like Travis Hunter playing both ways. That's
130
so unprecedented.
Possessions a game, I think he's averaging, and something like that.
It's incredible, but
Snaps.
not sure if it's sustainable. So they've been awesome through 2 weeks, but let's maybe pump the brakes on Colorado to the CFP. But man, the Pac-12 as a whole, incredible.
It's awesome.
Washington, Oregon State, all in the mix as well. But man, as of today, I'm going Utah because there's just something different about that program and the physicality that they bring. It is something that nobody else in that league really is ready for whenever they have to face it.
And I will say, I think I'm pretty 100% sure, Colorado is going to start the season 3-0. Everything's going perfect for them. I mean, Colorado State, they lost to Washington State by 26. Colorado's 23-point favorite this week. But don't forget they close out September on the road against Oregon and then at home against USC. And I have to say, I can't wait to see those 2 games. Shedeur Sanders, Bo Nix on one side, Caleb Williams, Shedeur Sanders on the other. Like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Colorado football has become so much fun. How long can Deion actually stay in college before the NFL comes a-calling?
I've heard him say in recent weeks even that he does not aspire to be an NFL head coach. He was talking about Nebraska, previewing that game against Matt Rule and sort of just breaking down the matchup. And, he talked about Matt Rule and, hey, I know it didn't go well with him in Carolina, but the fact that he was able to reach the NFL head coaching level coming out of college is impressive. That's something a lot of people aspire to, but he was like, I don't. I believe him. I mean, I think if Deion Sanders wanted to be an NFL coach, he would be on more of an NFL track with the experience that he's getting. I don't think that's something he desires or aspires to do. So the fact is he's in a perfect position here at Colorado where he's been given the keys to the engine. I mean, they have completely just given him a blank check in terms of the things that he needs to do to make them competitive. and he's having a lot of success. They're about to move to the Big 12, which is a move that he's supported. So, I mean, honestly, I think it would take something pretty special to get him to move because he's got it working there, and he's going to be able to recruit to Colorado in a way that no other coach would, and they're going to pay him. So, yeah, eventually, after he builds success at Colorado for 2, 3, 4 years, there will be other colleges that want him to be their coach. But I could actually see this working out there for a couple of years. Because look, in a bygone era where the NCAA actually had the ability to enforce its rules, and when NIL was not legal, and when transferring was not legal, Deion Sanders wouldn't have lasted 6 months. He would have already been under investigation for some sort of wrongdoing with the NCAA. But now, his brash persona and the way he wants to build a roster, it's legal. It works in this era. And that's going to allow him to continue to have success.
Difference in the Dabo and Deion right now. It's crazy. Yeah. I mean, Deion got rid of everybody and brought in all new guys. Dabo won't. He doesn't like to touch the transfer portal. He wants to go back
to
the
loyal.
way things.
He's too loyal.
Too loyal to a fault. Now, I got to bring this up or I'll be in trouble because Miami just bully whipped Texas A&M. I don't know, man. Texas A&M, there might be this like long play. I've been watching. Have you ever heard of the Americans?
Yeah.
It's where they're spies for Russia and they look like Americans. You seen it?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
I think Ole Miss, like Ross Bjork, who was the AD at Ole Miss, and DJ Durkin, who was the defensive coordinator for Ole Miss, now both at Texas A&M. Ross Bjork signed Jimbo Fisher to the dumbest contract it looks like in history, and DJ Durkin's defense was trash. Are they still working for Ole Miss?
That's amazing. Honestly, Ole Miss is the most impressive team in the SEC to this point. Golly, I mean, every year, right? Every year I do it, I'm like, oh, this is the season where Texas A&M is going to figure it out. This is the year, right, where they can't be bad with that much talent again, right? And every year they manage to be bad. When you give up almost 50 to Miami, something's not going well. Because, I mean, look, everybody talked about the Bobby Petrino offense, right, this offseason, and that was the big storyline in College Station. Wegman's been better. The offense has been fine, but you go and give up
terrible
48 to Miami. That's baffling.
Five touchdowns.
Baffling.
Tyler Dyke threw 5 touchdown passes against Texas A&M. In week 1, I can't even remember who they were playing. Miami of Ohio. He only threw 1 touchdown pass.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, maybe the U is back. We'll see. I told Stats and Bryant yesterday and apologized to Jay for this, but I said Texas is more back than Miami. I wasn't ready to go there yet with Miami. But, man, the ACC is a crapshoot. Like, it is totally wide open with Clemson looking like a shell of its former self. I mean, anybody could win the ACC this year. I mean, Florida State obviously playing as well as anybody in college football right now, but there's no divisions in that league anymore, and somebody's got to meet them there in the ACC title game if the Noles are going to make it. So could be Miami. They're in the mix, no doubt.
Last question, and I'll let you go. Thank you for staying so long. I know I'm late. I've just been keeping you all day, but college football is here, baby. It's so much fun. Florida State and Texas have the best 2 wins on the season, in my opinion. I mean, going to Alabama and beating them, and then Florida State just beating up on LSU in the second half. Out of those 2 teams, do you like Mike Norvell's team better, or do you like Sark's?
Yeah, at the moment, I would still go Florida State. I think I trust Florida State a little bit more at this point because of they're a little bit farther into it than Sark is. They've tasted a little bit more success, right? And so now the big question with Texas is how do they respond after getting that signature win, long-awaited under Steve Sarkisian, whereas I don't know, Florida State, they got that success last year. They piled together a bunch of victories at the end of last year, and it didn't faze them. They went and won a bowl game over Oklahoma and finished strong, right? So I don't know. Can Texas, though, can they avoid the trap of reading the press clippings and getting full of themselves as they're about to navigate a brutal Big 12 schedule where they're going to get everybody's best shot on their way out of the league? Still a question for me about that with Texas. whereas I feel like Florida State's a little bit more tested with success at this point and maybe a little bit more trustworthy.
David, man, I appreciate your time, man. Be blessed. What you working on this week?
Yeah, the bottom 25 about to drop at CBS Sports. So we got the worst teams in college football ranked. Yeah, that's my Tuesday assignment this year, so definitely check that out.
Man, be blessed. Thanks for your time, man, and enjoy watching the football this week.
All right, man, I appreciate it.
That's David Cobb. We're late for a break. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Simple, smooth, and every sip is easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does with your favorite mixer. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff. Just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
It didn't take them long. Genesis Diamonds is now the undisputed value leader here in Memphis. Hey, it's Eric Hasseltine, and people who have gone into Genesis Diamonds with a budget have often left spending less than they thought they would, and they end up with a better diamond, a bigger diamond, and a nicer ring. I'm telling you, Genesis has disrupted the old school jewelry store scene right here in Memphis. It starts with value. Genesis is a direct diamond importer where they get their diamonds from the world's best diamond cutters with no middleman. I call it extreme value. Genesis is also the authorized retailer for all the top bridal designers, so they have the rings on every woman's wish list. They back up every purchase with a 100% free lifetime warranty. That means no charge ever for things like sizing or cleaning. All this in a fun, relaxed environment with no commission salespeople, no pressure of any kind, and no retail pricing games. We've needed a place like this for years here in Memphis, and now Genesis is here. It's quite a change from other jewelry stores with traditional prices, limited selection, and insane markups. Genesis Diamonds at Poplar and Perkins Extended in Poplar Commons.
Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis in Olive Branch has an offer you can't refuse. They will pay you to do business with them if you want luxury. And I'm talking the Genesis G70 car. If you would love to have that kind of new technology, they will give you a $1,000 rebate when you finance with Genesis Motor Finance. In other words, they'll pay you $1,000 to do business with them, and you get brand new luxury. You can't beat it. That's Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis, right at the corner of Craft Road and Highway 78 in Olive Branch. Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis in Olive Branch, where customer retention is amazing. There's a reason. They take care of you with a team that's been together for a long time. Whether it's finance or whether it's service, you can't beat them. Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis.
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know. Binswanger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 145 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Binswanger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Binswanger Glass in Midtown at 340 South Hollywood across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit binswingerglass.com. Binswanger Glass.
Cooling or heating system on the fritz? Dripping faucet? Call the pros at Conway Services today and we'll waive the service call fee with any HVAC or plumbing repair. Expert technicians available 7 days a week. Call 384-3511 to schedule your appointment. Visit conwayservices.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 64210, 64365 EAS, MS 19688.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail. The ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way. Offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at TriumphAutoSales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
4.9 liter V8, 0 to 60, and I'm about to find out.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. Jay Morgan Harder's with me. Hope you enjoyed Week 1 in the National Football League. I know I did. Thinking back out on the entire Week 1, trying to figure out, man, who are the best teams in the National Football League? Like, if you were going to rank the Power 5, like, or top 10, and we're not going to go top 10. That'd take too damn long. But let's just say you're thinking about, like, right now after Week 1, and again, it's early in the season. It also has a lot to do with, some of your biases, what you thought you were going to see when the season started, what, in reality that you got. But, man, when I look at some of these teams out there, like, I have a lot of questions. Like, I feel like who's for easy? Like, who do you thought had the number one performance in Week 1? It's got to be Dallas, right? I mean, when you beat an NFL football team 40-0.
I was going to say the Miami Dolphins, but you make a good argument right there with Dallas.
I thought the most impressive performance,
right? Because the stats
was actually Tyreek Hill in that game, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns. Because the stats for Dallas weren't all that good. Like, Dak only threw for
the defensive stats are the greatest stats I've ever seen in my entire life.
That's a fact.
I've never seen a team where they had 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, something to that effect.
They played in the rain up in New York, though, and
Put
that was
way,
sunshiny out in California.
They scored 40 points in fantasy football, their defense did.
That's right.
Like, the average was like 6.5. They, won fantasy leads.
For a lot of people.
And you know what? San Francisco looked great on defense. Brock Purdy was just doing his thing. The 49ers, you got to think about there. And by the way, Brock Purdy, do we have to take are people finally convinced? That Steelers defense is no joke.
No, they have the former defensive MVP on it.
Christian McCaffrey, though, in the backfield, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuels, George Kittle. My man is driving a Ferrari.
You know what that sounds like to me, John?
With Trent Williams at left tackle, protecting his butt.
Sounds like everyone calling Jalen Hurts the greatest quarterback to ever live last season.
Oh, I'm not going to say that. You saw Week 1 performance?
No, I'm not saying, but remember last year, because they went to the Super Bowl, everyone was so high on Jalen Hurts, but kind of failed to realize, wow, he's got the greatest weapons and best offensive line in the game around him. Brock Purdy's in a similar situation, not to take anything away from Brock Purdy, but people don't seem to be as quick to say Brock Purdy's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL the way they were so quick to say that about Jalen Hurts last season.
Because when you're drafted dead last and you're Mr. Irrelevant,
nobody's going to say that.
It takes a lot. It takes more games to wash off that dirt, basically, that comes with being the last pick. Again, when you're the number 1 pick in the NFL, everybody and their grandmother thinks you're going to be great. By the way, go back to Derek Carr when he got drafted. Do you know what rookie quarterbacks are in the NFL? Remember, I bet against all 3 rookies in Week 1. Do you know what their record is since Derek Carr came in the league?
What's that?
14-1 rookie quarterbacks in their history in Week 1.
You got a tie?
You got to bet on that junt. It's easy money, brother. Now,
who else was impressive? I think honestly, Tampa beating the Vikings.
Okay,
is
it's
pretty
impressive that they beat the Vikings.
Right, not most impressive. I'm just naming impressive wins.
That was a good win for the Baker Mayfield era. A team where Mike Williams doesn't even want to be on the team. Did you see how fast he got off the field after he scored that touchdown? Mm-hmm. He didn't celebrate with nobody. He's so mad they didn't extend his contract. He is a very unhappy player. Very impressive win. I would have to say the most impressive wins were, can we say this? But the Lions beating Kansas City
Agreed.
On Thursday night, I feel like, damn, Dan Campbell has got something going on. And again, Do you remember how they finished the season last year?
6-0. Is that right? No, that's not right.
I thought it was like even better than that. I thought it was like
8. No, maybe it was 8, but it was something 0. They won like their last 6, 7, 8 games of the season.
And we talked earlier in the first segment about Josh Allen and his turnover situation. The last 24 games, he's got 33 turnovers. Jared Goff in the last 24 games has 15 turnovers. You talked about Jalen Hurts in the last 22 games, he has 15 turnovers. Still a good ratio. You talk about Tua Tagovailoa, his performance. In the last 22 games, guess what? He has 16 turnovers. That's still 5 less turnovers, 5 more games played than turnovers. Pat Mahomes, 26 games, 17 turnovers. You notice these teams that win football games, you know what their quarterbacks don't do?
They're not turning the ball over, John.
They are not turning the ball over. And that's why they're winning football games. You look at like Matt Ryan in in that same span. He's not playing anymore, but 27 turnovers in 21 games. Ryan Tannehill, don't even get me started. 19 in the last 21 games.
Yep.
He's still better than Josh Allen.
I could give an asterisk for that one though.
It's
They've taken away all of his weapons. It's like he's throwing to me, you, and Bryant out there playing receiver. I mean, good gracious.
Hey, that is. I'm not going to.
And you would be the number one. You would be the number one receiver, John, by far between the three of us here. I mean, good gracious. Yeah. Bryant has receiver experience. He'd be number 2, and I would be number 3. For sure, I'd be the number 3
Good
receiver.
suck up. I like that. I appreciate that. I really do. And then you wanted again talking about even Justin Fields in the last 18 games, he's had 18 turnovers. Like, Josh Allen's got 18 more turnovers than Jared Goff in the same number of games.
If we just made it interceptions, Mac Jones doesn't throw that many picks, does he? He just fumbles all the time.
Mac Jones has got, in the last 23 games, only has 18 turnovers, and yes, he has more fumbles.
I bet a lot of those are fumbles, too. So, yeah. I mean, which is not protecting the football, it's a problem if it's an interception or a fumble.
Kirk Cousins, 25 games, 25 turnovers, wow. 24 turnovers, I'm sorry. But, again, it's just, I mean, you look at the guys who, when they protect the football, their teams win. Hell.
That's the key to football almost. The takeaway margin almost seems to be very important here, John.
So do you agree, Josh Allen, in the last 24 games has got a serious issue?
Oh, I definitely think so. I mean, 100%. It's like I said at the beginning of the show,
Dak Prescott,
criticism of Josh Allen's back open for business.
Dak Prescott, by the way, 24 turnovers in 21 games. So basically that's a -3 is what we're going to call it. Josh Allen is negative, what is it? Where is he? 33 and 24. That's -9. That's the highest one I can find in the NFL right now. That's more than Dak Prescott. And what did we talk about the whole entire offseason? Dak Prescott's got to stop throwing interceptions. Fumbling the ball is still a damn turnover.
He promised us he wouldn't do it anymore.
Yes, remember? I know. I love that promise.
He promised us.
I promise you I won't turn the ball over like I did last year.
They did win 40-0. So, you can turn the ball over as much as you want. You win 40-0, I guess.
And I kind of just got off the subject because, again, I'm talking about some of the teams that we feel like are going to be the top teams in the National Football League. Do we need to throw the Browns in there after their shellacking of the Bengals?
For sure. Especially because
Nick Chubb just running down the Bengals' throat.
I think we have to take into account. Nick Chubb has been one of the top 3 running backs in the NFL. The Browns defense is good, and I think it's time we need to mention the drop off that Deshaun Watson had last year might not be sustainable because when he left the Texans, he was.
John, 731 days before he played football in between.
Are you willing to say he was one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL when he left the Texans?
When he left the Texans, he was definitely in that conversation.
For sure. And so I think it would make sense to me that after a season of playing, he goes back.
He went toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes in the daggone playoffs.
Right.
And it was crazy.
That was the best team in the AFC South by a huge margin. No one even gave a shot to the Titans. It was just the Texans division and then everybody else when Deshaun Watson was playing there.
The sad part about it is if you look at Deshaun Watson, he's the reason that the Texans stink.
So that's true too, John.
Like him going after Instagram models instead of massage. Well, I mean, don't go after anybody.
No, I mean, he's literally the reason they stink. It's his fault.
It is.
I mean, maybe it's the owner's fault, too. Now, it's also his fault, for sure.
I haven't mentioned the Ravens, who, I was very high on. I think they're going to be great. I think they're going to be really good. But the J.K. Dobbins injury, he's also done for the season. It was his Achilles tendon, like Aaron Rodgers, that he ruptured. And it's just, I mean, the Ravens losing Dobbins, that's a big damn hit.
For sure. I mean, they talked about it too, but they do have good, like, a stable of running backs. I can't remember the other two guys' names they have in there, but they have two good running backs in that room.
Gus Edwards is
Gus Edwards.
very good backup.
Yeah. But now he's getting
Justice Hill is pretty decent. He's
it's
a good
second year at Justice Hill.
Yeah,
he's a young guy.
And I think they picked up Melvin Gordon too.
Really? Well, that'll be your third guy probably because they were talking really good about Gus Edwards.
But Melvin Gordon, I feel is like got to be done, bro.
Yeah, he didn't even finish the season last year, did he?
Mm-mm.
I didn't think so.
He was out of Denver like with a quickness.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, think about it, man. He was actually a first-round pick back in the day when he came out of Wisconsin. But damn, he's been around. I mean, this has got to be his 9th or 10th year.
Yeah, he's been around for a while. So, I mean, it's certainly not as good as J.K. Dobbins, especially a guy that's worked. He was hurt last year, too, so he's worked so hard this all season to come back. And they were really optimistic about what he would bring to the table. He's one of the brightest parts of their offense. But if any team is equipped to deal with that, I mean, certainly better than the Bills. We're talking about how bad the Bills' running back room is. At least the Ravens have like a stable of running backs in order to kind of burden that load.
Yeah, but also the other thing, and I guess J.K. Dobbins is, I say this because everybody pretty much listening out there knows who J.K. Dobbins is, fantasy football players, whatever. You know, you know about that injury. But I'm also worried. I mean, Mark Andrews left that game banged up.
Oh, he didn't even play.
He didn't even play. That's right. He's injured.
Right.
But
and
no, Tyler Lindenbaum, their center.
He's good. I heard
he's great, but he got injured.
No, I heard he was good. Yet the update I think yesterday is he will play this week.
He will be back. Man, that dude.
Let me double check, but I'm almost positive.
Man, okay,
but
that's
and
good news.
They said Mark Andrews practiced all week. The team didn't even realize he wasn't going to play. He was practicing all week long, and then he went out there to try and warm-ups, and that's when they called it. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on with him, but that's a little bit of a peculiar injury, I think, too.
And also, don't forget their safety, Marcus Williams. He's out for sure. I know he got hurt, too, so he's not going to be playing. I don't know, man. I'm just worried about, like, that Ravens team, and it's the one thing that you always stay of, and again, it was other players, but we're always worried. Lamar Jackson, when he's on the field, the Ravens are awesome. But if something happens and he misses some time, injuries always worry me about the Ravens, but the Browns look great. What happened to the Bengals? Like, what was that? I mean, do we just give all the credit to the Browns? Or,
I think some of that. Don't you think that I mean
timing?
But when an injury like that,
if Joe Shiesty is on the field and Jamar Chase is out there with T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, if they're on the field playing football, I feel like they can score some points.
But I think we're discounting the effect that preseason injury for Joe Burrow is going to have on his entire season. You know what I mean? I mean, that just could be one of those things.
2 for 14 on third down with 81 yards in the game. That's just that's disgusting.
And he's not as mobile back there either. He's very clearly not as mobile back there to be able to be evasive in the pocket and stuff like that. It's just. I think that injury is going to. It's one of the reasons that I was kind of a little bit skeptical about everyone's optimism is quarterback injuries like that. It happens before the season. It's going to linger the whole year, and this started before the season. Everyone else is coming in there fresh. I think it's gonna hurt them.
How smart do the Packers look?
It's the Bears. I mean, I think
38-20. Though, yeah, but shellacking 3 touchdown passes from Jordan Love, and again, it looks a lot better for the Green Bay Packers because in the 3rd or 4th play of the game, Aaron Rodgers is lost for the season, and they came off all that money.
Well, in that regard, they look really good for that. But in terms of optimism for the season, I mean, I think it's ridiculous that the public was so high on the Bears. You know what I mean? I'm just not sure. I got to see more. I know we said we were afraid to bet on Jordan Love last week because we hadn't seen him play. I'm not even sure I would be that confident. I don't even know who they play this week. But if the line was favorable for the Packers, I still might stay away because I just want to see more Jordan Love before I do anything like that.
Well, Jordan Love started only a couple games in his career, but he's been pretty damn good in both of them.
In 2 of them, yeah.
And I feel like they're going to start the season 2-0 because they get to go down to face the Falcons. And I'm sorry, man.
Desmond Ritter's the worst starting quarterback in the NFL.
Right now, Josh Allen on paper is.
No. It's not even close.
No, Desmond Ritter is by far, I agree with you 100%. He's the worst. He would be the worst backup.
Yeah, I mean, no, there's absolutely backups better than him.
Give me Gardner Minshew. Give me Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, I was about to say, give me Jacoby Brissett. Put Jacoby Brissett out there, and put Davis Mills out there.
David Mills all day long.
Astronomically better than Desmond Ridder. I mean, the guy's a joke. He is the worst starting quarterback in the NFL. I'm not even sure it's close.
Well, I will tell you one thing. Did the real Geno Smith show up this weekend, by the way?
I don't know, John. It's week 1. It's week 1.
This is a Rams team that is supposed to be pretty bad, and Geno Smith looked real bad, I thought.
No, he didn't look good, John.
He was freaking out in the pocket. He was screaming when Aaron Donald. Remember when he came up there? Oh my God!
But it's also Aaron Donald. You know what I mean?
Agree.
So I got to give him a pass on that one to a certain extent. I mean, that guy's a freak. I don't know. Everyone's saying that when Aaron Donald comes running at you.
Yeah. Man, he had a bad game. Matt Stafford wasn't bad. What did he have? 340 yards.
Matthew Stafford looked unbelievable. Some of the throws that guy made were the most impressive thing. I mean, it was unbelievable. He's throwing sidearm. He didn't throw from the same arm angle on 2 throws the whole game. It was unbelievable, and he was throwing darts in there. When people talked about no one's seen this guy throw when he was playing in Detroit, you don't know how good he is. That was an example of that yesterday. The guy just plays big when people doubt him.
I will say that little Sam Howell kid who had a fumble, picked up, scoop and score with Washington, tried to do a little too much. I saw a few plays, though, where he used his scrambling ability, and then he did a little sidearm action throws in there for that little touchdown pass that he threw. He's got a hose. Can the kid learn how to play the game in the NFL, though? Because he holds onto the ball a little bit too long, tried to do a little bit too much. He hadn't figured out that, sometimes the best thing to do is just throw it away.
Do you like Riverboat Ron? Do you think he's a coach that could stick with him?
I like
and
Eric
teach him?
Bieniemy.
You like Eric Bieniemy more than Riverboat Ron?
Well, no, what I like is the fact that he is his, offensive coordinator. He's the one who's going to implement it, and I feel like he's going to take advantage of what Sam Howell's good at. I mean, Sam Howell has great wheels. He can move in the pocket, and he also can throw from every arm angle, and he has one strong bleeping arm. But Sam Howell is very young, very green, and he's going to make some mistakes.
And I'm not sure how good that roster around him is either. I really don't know. It might be better than I'm giving it credit for. I mean it when I say it. I really don't know.
I love Terry McLaurin. I mean, I feel like Washington doesn't get the credit that they deserve with their weapons. I mean, they got Logan Thomas, also a very good tight end, former quarterback, by the way, at Virginia Tech. But Terry McLaurin's a number 1 in this league. Curtis Samuel is definitely a 2 in my opinion. And Jahan Dotson can. Damn, I forgot. They got dudes.
So it's not the weapons around.
They got the weapons. They just the young kid's gonna make some damn mistakes. And plus, don't forget they got Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson. They can also run the football.
Yeah, they got good running backs for sure.
I feel like, and they got. I feel like Sam Howell in Washington could be the 3rd best team because I definitely think the Commanders are better than the Giants.
Really? After week 1?
I remember how down I was on the Giants
to
start the
down
season.
You are.
I told you the Giants will finish last in the East before the year started, so this isn't me going out on a big limb.
Yeah, you're right. It's you being consistent is what it is.
It is. It's right.
I like the Giants, man, and I like Daboll, especially after we saw what Josh Allen did last night and all the criticism that's coming on him. If you think all that was Daboll, which a lot of it very well could be, you got to like the Giants, at least because of the head coach, you know what I mean? But they also lost 40-0 in a divisional game.
They have high school wide receivers. They're actually the worst wide receivers in all of football play for the New York Football Giants. I mean, who is he? Who is outside of Darren Waller, their tight end?
Tell me. That's a real good one, though, John.
He's a great tight end. Don't get me wrong, but we gave Lamar Jackson a pass because he only had Mark Andrews, who's a hell of a tight end. I mean, you think Darius Slayton, Jalen Hyatt's a rookie out of Tennessee, Paris Campbell.
Is Sterling Shepard still on the roster?
Isaiah Hodgins last year, their tall wide receiver, he was their best wide receiver. If he's their number 1, which I don't even know who their number 1 is.
Is Sterling Shepard still on the roster?
Dude, I don't know, man. But Sterling Shepard is so old. There's no way he's out there going to be doing. If you're a quarterback, are you worried? You think Sauce Gardner's worried about Sterling Shepard? Please, child, please. But anyway, we are about to take a quick timeout. I could talk NFL action all day long, but I got to remind you, today we have a little bit of a special. We're going to talk because, it's football season. We got football on Thursday. The University of Memphis Tigers, baby, this Thursday are playing a little football against Navy. You also have the Vikings and the Eagles on Thursday. Yes, yes, yes. So a lot of people out there, when you're watching football, you want to be doing a little bit of cooking. We got Daley Thompson on today. He's going to give us some some recipes. So when you're watching some football, when you got your friends over, when you're grilling out, when you're tailgating, he's going to cover it all. And don't forget, it's always brought to you by Tito's. You know, like I said, I love waking up on Saturdays and Sundays because I got football all day. But the best part of my day is waking up with a little Tito's in my cup. If you want the best spirit around, go to your local liquor store and get Tito's handmade vodka, 6 times distilled. Also then stilled in classic copper pots. That's what gives it a very unique flavor. Slightly sweet, black pepper note, balancing everything out. Doesn't matter if you're crafting a cocktail or drinking it neat. Get your Tito's on today. And by the way, you got celiacs. Do you know what celiacs is, Jay?
I do.
What is it?
You can't eat gluten, John.
Correct. Do you know what doesn't have any gluten in it? Tito's.
What, John?
Tito's, because it's 100% corn, baby. I'm telling you, best spirit around is Tito's. Daley Thompson on the other side. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Give me liberty and give me real estate. I'm Sheldon Rosengarten, and that was Hugh Mallory. Not only does he work with me at Mark Spensdorf Realtors, he's the president of this year's AutoZone Liberty Bowl. So Hugh, instead of sounding like Patrick Henry, what do you mean?
Well, Sheldon, like you, I sell real estate. I'm also privileged to serve as president of the 65th AutoZone Liberty Bowl, which will be held Friday, December 29th at 2:30. I'm able to handle all my clients, whether they're buying or selling, while participating in this great annual tradition.
Hugh, that is definitely quite an honor, and with your fabulous track record in real estate sales, I know you'll do a great job. Hugh will move you as something to remember, and you can reach Hugh Mallory at 497-9756. It's also why people often say that when you want the job done, call Shell Dunn. You can reach me, Shell Dunn Rosengarten, at 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com. That's MemphisRelocate.com or 483-0546. See you at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl on December 29th.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail. The ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way, offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match, only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Get ready for the NFL season with incredible offers from FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Plus, all customers who bet $5 will get $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Now is the best time to join FanDuel. The app is easy to use. You can bet on everything from spreads to player props and more. So visit FanDuel.com/win and kick off the NFL season with an offer you won't want to miss. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
21 plus and present in Tennessee. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call TN Redline 1-800-889-9789. NFL Sunday Ticket offer ends 9/18/23. No refunds. Terms and embargoes apply. $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket, not YouTube TV. YouTube TV base plan required to watch YouTube TV. Redemption requires a Google account and current form of payment. Commercial use excluded. Subscription renews. Cancel anytime.
We interrupt this broadcast for special news and information concerning family leisure.
The world's biggest spa sale is back and bigger than ever at Family Leisure. How is that possible? Well, let me tell you. You start off with 50 different spa models to choose from 5 different manufacturers. Then you throw in up to 30% off in-stock spas and swim spas. But is that all? Oh, no. You get free upgrades on all in-stock spas, plus 24 months, same as cash. Wow! This is the kind of sale that you just can't have every day, but it's happening right now at Family Leisure, the world's biggest spa sale. Soak in the savings right now at Family Leisure, Witten Road and I-40. You know the place where family and fun come together.
Please remain calm and walk. Don't run to Family Leisure. And now back to your regular programming.
But you gotta be willing to take the hit and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that and that ain't you. You're better than that.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. Got Jay Morgan Harder with me hanging out all day long. Big thanks to David Cobb earlier from CBSSports.com. We broke down all the college football action going on early in the season. Also, we're about to now switch a little bit gears because, man, we've been talking about college football. We've been talking tons of NFL. We've been breaking it all down. And nothing goes better with a little football than great food, man. When you got great food and you got football on, you have great friends come over. And I got the pitmaster over here, my buddy Daley Thompson. He's gonna give you a little something special. So when you're barbecuing, when you're tailgating, when you're hanging out, maybe when you come off the lake one day or done fishing, you're gonna go out there and have some amazing flavors. And I'm sure you've tried Boo and Henry's sauces and marinades. It's Memphis style barbecue. It's delicious. It is flat out nasty. So we're gonna get all up in some of that. But I have to tell you, first and foremost, when you go to football games, like when you're going down to the Grove, when you go to Tiger Lane, not only do you want to eat good, but you want to look good. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road down in Olive Branch. They can dress everybody in your family from head to toe. They have a ladies' boutique, a children's department, and a men's section, plus the largest boot showroom around. Western boots, work boots, dress boots, cowboy boots, you name it. They got them boots. They also got the hats, they got the shirts, they got the shoes. They got it all at Frontier Western Store. And if you can't get down to Olive Branch, you can shop online at frontierwesternstore.com. Daley Thompson, the pitmaster. What's up, my friend?
Is this Johnny Radio?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How's life been treating you?
You're starting to sound like Bob Barker over there, you know.
The price is wrong. Man, by the way, that was a great show.
Well, how you been doing? I haven't talked to you in about a year.
Man, it is. Man. It's that time of the year, though, man. This is when the grilling gets going.
Best time of the year.
It's the best time of the year. I call it the months, man, because nothing's better than the months. You got football, basketball's around the corner, playoff baseball, and you're barbecuing with friends and family. Help us out, man.
You are correct.
Help us out. What can we do? Tell me something special. I'm definitely not a pit master, but I sure love to get on the grill.
Okay. Well, you know, we have grown a little bit. I think I talked to you last year, and I think we had our original 5 products, which were the 4 sauces and the 1 dry rub, the Rub Me Tender. Thank you very much. That dry rub. But we have since added 2 new products to our product line. We have added a Burning Hot Love dry rub. So that's basically, I took the Rub Me Tender rub and kicked it up a notch, as somebody would say. Put some chili in there. Not too hot, but I mean, it gives it a nice little zest. Awesome for chicken wings, awesome for rib tips, awesome for anything that you want to kick it up a little bit. And then we did add a new sauce. Now, this is a combination of North Carolina and South Carolina. It's called a Carolina Red Hot Mustard Sauce, and it does pack a punch. It has some ghost chili in there, so it does have a punch. But since we put it on the market, it's our top seller because everybody, if you look along all the lines in what's going on in the barbecue world, everybody has a hot mustard sauce right now.
Shoot,
so,
I love y'all's sweet
products.
mustard, by the way.
Anybody can go on our website and find them, but I wanted to give you some ideas for tailgating, right?
Yeah, but before we do that, I want everybody to remember it's booandhenrysbarbecue.com. It's very simple. And again, they got a couple new sauces, but the originals, man, like the sweet mustard I love with my chicken, the smoking mild
sweet mustard,
barbecue
the red hot
sauce.
vinegar, which is my personal favorite. And then we have a Memphis smoking mild, a Memphis smoking hot, and then, of course, the Rub Me Tender dry rub, all purpose, and it's less salt than 90% of your dry rubs out there. So that's good. We're getting a little bit older. We got to cut back on the salt.
Also, it's not only that. Like I know that the other ones, they don't have any like fructose corn syrup or whatever.
Nope,
it's gluten
no high
free.
fructose corn syrup, no preservatives, and they are all natural. We make our dry rubs. We're still making our dry rubs out in California. We're getting ready, and I hope a Memphis purist won't kill me for this. But we've moved to make our sauces, and we have a new co-packer in Kansas City. I know that's taboo, but couldn't find a good one in Memphis.
Man, I can believe it. I can believe it. Plus, it's central to like right in the middle of the country. You can get it everywhere, man. Just spread it out.
Right.
All right.
So you want me to start with some recipes?
I am ready because Thursday night Tigers played
for
Navy
tailgating,
here in Memphis.
We want to keep it simple. We don't want it to be too confusing. I mean, as far as like sides and stuff like that, you can get your coleslaw, your potato salad, your barbecue beans and everything. And the great thing about those is instead of just, seasoning it up with, salt and pepper and garlic powder or whatever you want to do, use our dry rubs. Mm-hmm. You use the Rub Me Tender or the Burning Hot Love, depending on what heat level you want. Like I said, the Burning Hot Love is not hugely hot. It's maybe a 5 on a scale of 1 to 10. So those are great for seasoning, but like on potato salad, everybody's always wanting to find out what's the perfect, amount of, if you want mayonnaise, if you want mustard, if you want vinegar or anything else like that. What we have found is that, you can season it, but like you said, the sweet mustard is great, but the red hot mustard, the new sauce, will give it a kick, and you don't have to add a whole lot else. You might want to cut it with just a little bit of mayonnaise just to make it a little bit creamier. But, I mean, that red hot mustard, I mean, it has all the flavor profiles going on. Coleslaw as well. We like the red hot vinegar or the red hot mustard. I like a little bit of spice. And the barbecue beans, what I tried about a month ago is I was making barbecue beans, and I just put a little bit of each one of our sauces in there. And it made an amazing, a full balance. You have that barbecue flavor, you have that pot vinegar, you have that mustard flavor, and it was really good. So we used all 5 of those in our barbecue beans.
Damn, that sounds like a nice
if you're doing
little
burgers
mix.
and hot dogs, just throw them on the grill with, just season them. And, I personally love the Memphis smoking mild and the smoking mild because that's a traditional, that's what you are used to in Memphis. Grilled shrimp, Put that burning hot love on there, and then just finish it right at the end with that red hot vinegar. Oh man, it's like shrimp candy. It melts in your mouth. And now I'm going to get to something a little bit different. Everybody knows what vegetable skewers are. And you get some good vegetables. You get some squash, some zucchini, some onions, some bell peppers, and everything. Put them on skewers. Do the same thing. Put the rub me tender seasoning on there, grill them off, and then just spread the red hot vinegar or the red hot mustard, depending on what your flavor profile is. You can do that with grilled fruit. And my personal favorite is if you still get some mango or something like that, get some fresh mango. Put lime on it, and then put the burning hot love on it, and just toss it up. That's a really refreshing, like dessert or something or snack like that. So those are some of the recipes we're using for tailgating. They are all available on our website. We have recipes, we have products, we have merchandise, we have a blog, and we're adding new recipes every week.
And that's at booandhenrysbarbecue.com, correct?
You got it, sir.
Man,
you have it.
That's easy. So, when we're out tailgating and we're doing things like that, like this Thursday, Navy and Memphis play, Thursday night, a lot of people are going to be out in Tiger Lane doing a little tailgating. Those are some great ideas. If you're at home.
At the Liberty Bowl, yeah.
At the Liberty Bowl, yeah. But if you're at home and you're, grilling and, for, a whole bunch of people, you got any other recipes?
Well, if you're talking about like the bigger, the larger traditional barbecue, we use, everybody knows pulled pork, and everybody probably has their own recipe. What we do for pulled pork is, you get I like the full shoulders. A lot of people use the Boston butts, but if you got time, I get the full shoulders, bone in, marinate them the night before with the rub me tender all night, overnight in the refrigerator. Take them out about an hour before you cook them on the smoker, and then smoke them for, a shoulder anywhere from 10 to 12 hours generally. I use Memphis woods. I use hickory predominantly and oak generally for the pork, and if I'm doing beef, I usually use apple and oak. Those I just stay pretty simple, and then baste them with an apple juice and vinegar base. You put beer in there, it always goes good. Or what I found out is a Mexican Coke or a Mexican Dr. Pepper, if you got it available, because it's got the real cane sugar. It doesn't have that high fructose corn syrup, which just kind of it gives it a little bitter aftertaste. It really does. But any of that's really good, and I cook them for about 10 to 12 hours. Take them off and pull that. It's almost like a pig picking as they do in North Carolina. I do the dry rub ribs the same way. Generally don't marinate them as long, because I usually put a little apple cider vinegar on the ribs and before I put the seasoning on. And the thing about that is it opens up the pores of the ribs. But you don't want to marinate it too long, because that vinegar will start cooking the ribs. So, I generally will maybe 12 hours at the most, a marinade, to have a little vinegar on it, opens it up, and then just smoke them for about 5 hours, just like I said, over oak and hickory. And then we all know we do a dry rub rib, ode to Memphis, but we're also we're opening a restaurant in Scottsdale, and we're going to do a wet rib as well, because, people out here,
different strokes, different folks.
Dry rub rib.
Oh, really? I said there's different strokes for different folks, and I didn't even know. So they're not very.
I'm a dry rub guy, but hey, I'll bend and have some wet ribs, sometimes.
Man, I'll say one thing. At Boo and Henry's barbecue, get their sauces, because again, it's something for everything. It goes well with literally everything. There's something you can do with it.
And if you let me just touch on it just a second, I don't want to go too long on it, but North Scottsdale, Arizona, we are opening up a Boo and Henry's Memphis Pit Barbecue, first one in Arizona, actually the first one anywhere, in January of 2024. So you can get Memphis barbecue in Arizona come January.
Man, that's awesome right there. You know how many people have out here said, man, if you just take some Memphis barbecue and go out west, they'll go crazy.
There's a couple of good places here. It's actually better than when I was living in Los Angeles, but there's some good barbecue out here, but nobody's really doing the real Memphis. And, we're just going to try to educate people on what real Memphis barbecue is, because we know it's the best.
It is the best. That is for sure. I'm telling you. Hey, Daly, I appreciate your time. I hope you have a blessed day and keep cooking, my man.
Well, Johnny Radio, you're the man.
Thank
when
you
you come
so
out,
much.
I'm going to invite you to our grand opening.
Oh, I'm in.
Okay.
Dude, I'm down. I love to get out of town. Heck, I'm going to a few places here next month, man. So hit me up, Daly.
I sure will.
That is Daly Thompson, Pitmaster. Go to booandhenrysbarbecue.com. Get all the recipes. Get everything that you need. They got a taste for everyone. Now, we're going to take a quick time out. I got a couple Hardwood stories, maybe a few bets for you, a little something. But I got to remind you, man, if you need to sell your house fast, I got the guy. It's Bill at iBuyHouses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Any house, any area, as is. It really is as simple as that. Just pick up your phone, give them a call, guaranteed to close in 5 days. You heard that right. Don't let somebody foreclose on you. Don't let a new house that you want and you need the down payment pass you by. When you need to sell your house, you just called 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at iBuyHouses. Back into Shake Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis in Olive Branch has an offer you can't refuse. They will pay you to do business with them if you want luxury. And I'm talking the Genesis G70 car. If you would love to have that kind of new technology, they will give you a $1,000 rebate when you finance with Genesis Motor Finance. In other words, they'll pay you $1,000 to do business with them, and you get brand new luxury. You can't beat it. That's Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis, right at the corner of Craft Road and Highway 78 in Olive Branch. Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis in Olive Branch, where customer retention is amazing. There's a reason. They take care of you with a team that's been together for a long time. Whether it's finance or whether it's service, you can't beat them. Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis.
If you're 19 or older with certain underlying medical conditions such as asthma or diabetes, you can get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia, a potentially serious bacterial lung disease that can disrupt your life for weeks. If you're 65 or older, it is also recommended you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. No matter the season, talk to your doctor about vaccination today and learn more at lung.org/protect yourself. A message from the American Lung Association in collaboration with Pfizer.
Furnished by the American Lung Association.
Every once in a while, a new concept comes on the scene and really upsets the old school apple carts. Well, that's exactly what Genesis Diamonds has done here in Memphis. Hey, it's Eric Hasseltine, and Genesis Diamonds is a fresh, exciting, revolutionary kind of jewelry store that has forever changed the jewelry landscape here in Memphis. Fall is just around the corner. What better time to make that big purchase than right now at Genesis Diamonds? With up to 30 times what you find at other stores in selection, no middleman prices that we've never seen here before, with natural and lab-grown diamonds in all shapes and sizes, Genesis has something for everyone. Plus, free service for life on any purchase and a 120% diamond upgrade guarantee that no other store would dare to offer. Genesis has turned the old school jewelry retail model upside down with lower margins, higher volume, no tricky pricing, no pressure, and no middleman. Get to Genesis Diamonds today and get that diamond purchase taken care of. This is the value leader, and nobody can challenge them here. Check out Genesis Diamonds at Poplar and Perkins Extended. Genesis Diamonds, the official jeweler of the Tennessee Titans.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail. The ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way. Offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Memphis football is at home Thursday, September 14th at 6:30 as they face off against Navy for Military Appreciation Game. Enjoy the interactive military equipment set up on Tiger Lane, skydivers during the national anthem, and much more. Tickets start at just $20 to witness the 901's football team in action. Be there Thursday, September 14th, and show a nationally televised audience what Memphis football is all about. Purchase your tickets today at GoTigersGoTix.com.
I have this one of those sayings, when things get too heavy, just call me helium.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. Jay Morgan's out there, man. He's hanging in there with me, chilling like a villain. We've been talking a lot of football today. It's football heavy. It's that time of the year. Talked tons about college with David Kopp from CBSSports.com. There's some games that I've been looking at early that I'm pretty excited about, to be honest with you. And again, I feel like under 59 is right now my strongest play, or the best feel I've had for a game in college football this season. I just feel like Joe Milton, Josh Heupel, they are running the football with Jalen Wright. Milton cannot throw. He is who we thought he was. Graham Mertz is terrible. And I feel like the Gators, Billy Napier, they want to keep it close. They want to keep it low scoring. They want to make it a rock fight, get to the fourth quarter. I mean, Graham Mertz and Joe Milton just do not scream over 59.5. I love that play. Love it. Also, man, I can't believe I'm saying this, but if you're going to play Colorado, I think you better get it early. They're playing Colorado State, who is one of the worst teams in football. I mean, they are pathetic. Do you know that they have not had a winning season in like the last 6 seasons? They're averaging like 3 wins a year. Not a good football team. Lost to Washington State in the very first week. Now, I know the Pac-12 is good, but this Colorado team, I feel like, is better than Washington State. Can't believe both of them right now are ranked. But I'm just telling you, Rand, you just watch it. It's going to happen. Colorado, 3 weeks in a row, going to go out there and pad people's pocket, make them a ton of money. And then I feel like they drop the next 2 games because they have to go to Oregon. After this week against Colorado State, they go to Oregon, and then they close out their September. At home, Caleb Williams and USC come to Colorado. It's going to be a lot of fun, but I feel like this is the week that, continue staying. Keep riding Deion Sanders. Right now he's paying. But, man, jump off that thing big time when Oregon and USC come around. Now, in the National Football League, Week 1 is gone. If you haven't heard, and I'm sure this is not I'm sure everybody has heard this, Aaron Rodgers is done for the year. He is out. The Jets' chances have to get to the Super Bowl, to live up to all their expectations. That defense is so legit, it's not even funny. Garrett Wilson's a great wide receiver. They got the back with Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook. Their offensive line and the quarterback situation with our boy Zach Wilson is just not going to be enough to get things done over the East. Now, Josh Allen ain't playing great quarterback in the East, but you know who is? That's Tua. Tua's playing out of his deadgum mind. What he did last week on the road in San Diego was just as impressive as a win on the offensive side of the ball. Now, the Dallas Cowboys probably the most impressive defensive side of the ball when they just destroyed the Giants. But, man, this Dolphins team, this week on Monday night, no, is it Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football?
I believe it's Sunday Night Football.
Sunday Night Football, Dolphins and the Patriots. Patriots gave the Eagles all they wanted and more. In fact, if the Eagles didn't have that amazing start to the football game, we're up 16-0, they fall apart down the stretch. That Patriots defense is legit. Mac Jones ain't as bad as I always said he was. Miami, this is a game that I can't touch. What do you think Miami is favored on the road against the Patriots?
5.
2.5. Wow. 2.5. Tua, who threw for 266 yards and 3 touchdowns in week 1 on the road. Tyreek Hill, who had 11 receptions and 215 yards with 2 touchdowns in week 1, and yet they're only a 2.5-point favorite. In the NFL, man, last week a lot of favorites came in. Watch out. This could be a dog week. Monday Night Football, we get the whole doubleheader situation. We got the Saints and the Panthers.
I don't think a lot of favorites did come in last week, John.
I mean, at least all the ones I took.
I think those might have been the only ones, honestly.
I mean, every single favorite, like if you bet against the rookies, all the favorites came in.
Yeah, I think those might have been the only ones for real.
When I was going to say Dallas Cowboys were a huge favorite. They came in. Yeah, a lot of dogs did come in, you're right. Because
no, it was about 50-50, John. 8-7 was underdogs had 8-7 lead.
And the 49ers killed them. Yeah, it was 8-7. Favorites by 1?
No, dogs by 1.
Oh, dogs by 1. Man, I picked the right favorites because I think I went really 5 favorites and like 3. I went 6 favorites, 3 dogs.
I picked the right dogs. I didn't pick any favorites, and I picked the right dogs. So kind of same thing.
Good job. Yeah. My favorites though were like tight ones. Like the Dolphins was one of my dogs. I mean, my dogs were like, they scared me a little bit. The Dolphins game was just a scary deadgum football game. So. And the Tennessee Titans, like, I can't believe I covered that game, Titans +3, but they only lost by 1, even though Tannehill threw 3 interceptions. They tried to give that game away. I got lucky on my dogs. But this week, like I said, in the NFL is going to be a lot of fun because, again, we got 2 Monday night games. The Browns and the Steelers now looks like a great game. Can Kenny Pickett and Mike Tomlin's team get off the mat after they just got destroyed by the 49ers? And, don't look now. 49ers defense is great. Cleveland Browns defense looks so good against Joe Burrow, and the Cincinnati Bengals, it's not even funny.
I'm going to bet all the teams that got beat up in week 1, John, seriously.
So we're going to jump on the Steelers.
Giants.
Jump on the Giants. Who else got beat up really bad? Cardinals, they couldn't score. The Cardinals and the Giants are playing each other. This might be the only two
I can think of off the top of my head, but there's others for sure.
I mean, I felt like the Texans, they played the Colts this week. It's a battle of the 2 rookie quarterbacks. Which rookie quarterback?
Bengals, I'm taking.
Which rookie quarterback gets the first win between Anthony Richardson and C.J. Stroud?
Hard to say.
Indy's a 1-point favorite on the road in Houston. By the way, Thursday night, Vikings and the Eagles. Philadelphia is a 7-point favorite. Kirk Cousins and them surprisingly lost to Tampa Bay. Oh, man, football's here. It's the months. For Jay, I'm John. Get out there, make the world a better place. We're going to see you on the flip side. Peace.